How do Tom and Jack find the hidden treasures? What do you do if something like this happens to you? Let's find out. The Lazy Brothers, Part 2. The brothers were now faced with a new decision. With the field ready, they could either continue searching aimlessly or make the most of their hard work by planting seeds. They decided to plant crops, hoping that even if the treasure remained elusive, their labor would still yield some benefit. Tom and Jack gathered seeds and began planting them in neat rows across the freshly plowed field. The work was less strenuous than plowing, but required patience and care. They took turns planting the seeds, and as they worked, they began to discuss the future. Their conversations shifted from complaints about the past to hopes about the crop's success. The brothers worked diligently to ensure the seeds were planted properly. They made sure each row was evenly spaced and the seeds were covered with just the right amount of soil. It was a new experience for them, and they found that they were able to take pride in the care they put into their work. As days turned into weeks, the seeds began to sprout. Tiny green shoots appeared above the soil, and the field gradually transformed into a vibrant patch of growing crops. Tom and Jack were surprised and pleased to see the results of their hard work. They began to visit the field every day to water the plants, pull weeds, and take care of the crops. The brothers noticed that their mood had improved as well. The less physical labor, while still demanding, had a satisfying effect on them. They started to enjoy the routine of working in the field and began to appreciate the changes they were making. They realized that working hard could bring about positive results, even if it wasn't the treasure they had originally hoped for. Despite their growing satisfaction, Tom and Jack continued to hope that the treasure might still be hidden somewhere in the field. They kept their eyes open for any signs of gold or jewels as they worked. Each time they found an old coin or a rusty artifact, their war excitement would flare up momentarily, only to be replaced by the realization that it wasn't the treasure they were searching for. The brothers' efforts were starting to pay off. The crops grew, healthy and strong, and the field began to look like a rich, productive farm. Tom and Jack's attitudes toward work continued to shift. They no longer viewed labor as a burden, but as a means to achieve something valuable. They understood that their father's lesson about hard work was becoming clearer with each passing day. As harvest time approached, the brothers were eager to see the fruits of their labor. They had invested so much effort into the field and were excited to reap the rewards. They were no longer the lazy, indifferent brothers who had started this journey. They had learned the importance of hard work and the satisfaction that came from seeing their efforts produce something tangible. After their exhausting efforts plowing the field, Tom and Jack had a crucial decision to make. They could either continue searching for the elusive treasure or put their hard work to good use by planting seeds. Realizing that their hard work had already gone so far, they chose to plant seeds, hoping that their labor would still result in something worthwhile. With the field plowed and ready, the brothers gathered different types of seeds. They had never planted crops before, so they were unsure of the best way to go about it. Tom suggested planting vegetables like carrots and beans, while Jack wanted to grow grains like wheat and corn. They eventually decided to plant a variety of seeds to see which would thrive best. Tom and Jack spent several days preparing for planting. They carefully measured the distances between each row to ensure that seeds had enough space to grow. They made small trenches in the soil and placed the seeds in each one. Once the seeds were in place, they covered them with soil and gently pressed down to ensure they were well seeded. Planting the seeds required patience and care. The brothers took turns making sure each seed was planted properly. As they worked, they talked about their hopes for the future. They envisioned a field full of lush crops and dreamed of the money they could earn from selling their produce. It was the first time they had worked together on something that seemed to have a real purpose, and it brought them a sense of teamwork and camaraderie. As the days passed, Tom and Jack visited the field daily to tend to their crops. They watered the soil, pulled out weeds, and made sure the plants were growing well. Although the work was still physically demanding, they found themselves enjoying the routine. The sense of accomplishment from seeing the seeds sprout and full grow gave them a new perspective on their efforts. Slowly, the field transformed from a barren plot into a vibrant, green landscape. Tiny sprouts began to push through the soil, growing into healthy plants. Tom and Jack were amazed at how quickly their hard work was paying off. The once empty field was now full of life, and they began to feel proud of what they had accomplished. The brothers noticed that their attitudes had changed as well. They no longer saw work as a punishment or a burden. Instead, they saw it as a way to achieve something meaningful. They had learned that their father's lesson about hard work was not just about finding treasure, but about the rewards that come from dedication and effort. As the crops continued to grow, Tom and Jack's excitement grew with them. They eagerly anticipated the harvest and looked forward to seeing the results of their labor. The field, once a symbol of their frustration and laziness, had become a testament to their hard work and determination. Finally, the day of harvest arrived. The crops were ready, and the brothers were excited to gather the fruits of their labor. They worked together to cut down the crops and collect them in baskets. The fields were now full of bountiful produce, and Tom and Jack marveled at the sight. They had worked hard, and their efforts had yielded a rich and abundant harvest. The brothers realized that their hard work had given them more than just a bountiful crop. It had taught them the value of effort and persistence. They understood that the treasure their father had spoken of was not gold or jewels, but the satisfaction and rewards that come from hard work and dedication. The harvest season had arrived, and Tom and Jack were eager to see the results of their hard work. The fields, once barren and neglected, were now lush with crops. The brothers had spent countless hours planting, nurturing, and caring for their land, and the time had come to gather the fruits of their labor. On the morning of the harvest, Tom and Jack woke up early. The air was crisp, and the sun was shining brightly. They felt a mix of excitement and anticipation as they prepared for the big day. They donned their work clothes, grabbed their tools, and set out to the field with enthusiasm. As they entered the field, they were greeted by the sight of their crops swaying gently in the breeze. The vegetables and grains had grown tall and strong, and the brothers were amazed by the transformation. It was a sight they had never imagined when they first started their laborious journey. Tom and Jack began harvesting the crops, working side by side. They used sickles and hoes to cut down the stalks and gather the produce into baskets. The work was hard, but the brothers were filled with a sense of satisfaction. Each basket of crops represented not just their physical labor, but also their newfound appreciation for hard work and perseverance. As they worked, Tom looked around at the flourishing field and said, "Look at what we've achieved, Jack. This is incredible. I never thought we'd get here." Jack nodded, his face beaming with pride. "I know. It's amazing to see how much we've accomplished. I'm so glad we decided to work hard and plant the seeds." The brothers continued to harvest throughout the day, taking breaks only when necessary. The fields were soon covered with baskets full of vegetables and grains. They worked diligently, making sure not to waste any of their precious produce. By late afternoon, the field was nearly empty, and the last of the crops were being gathered. Tom and Jack were tired, but happy. They sat down for a moment to rest and enjoy the view of their successful harvest. They had worked hard and were finally seeing the fruits of their labor. As they rested, Tom suddenly remembered their father's words about the hidden treasure. He glanced at Jack and said, "Do you think the treasure is still out there? Maybe we should look one last time." Jack agreed, and the two brothers decided to search the field once more. They revisited the spots where they had previously dug and searched for any signs of hidden treasure. They poked and prodded the soil, hoping to uncover something valuable. Hours passed, and their search proved fruitless. Despite their hopes, they didn't find any gold or jewels. Tom and Jack felt a pang of disappointment, but were soon reminded of the true reward of their hard work. They looked around at the abundance of crops they had harvested and realized that their father's message had been about more than just material wealth. As evening approached, the brothers gathered the last of the baskets and prepared to take them to the village market. They were exhausted but proud of their accomplishment. The villagers admired their produce and offered to buy it for a good price. Tom and Jack were thrilled with the amount of money they earned from selling the crops. After the market, the brothers returned to their farm, where they celebrated their success. They shared their earnings with the villagers and used some of the money to improve their farm. They bought new tools, repaired old equipment, and even built a small barn to store their harvest. Tom and Jack had come a long way from the lazy brothers they once were. They had learned the value of hard work and perseverance and had reaped the rewards of their efforts. The fields that had once been a symbol of their frustration and laziness were now a testament to their dedication and growth. As they looked back on their journey, Tom and Jack realized that their father's hidden treasure was not about gold or jewels, but about the lessons they had learned and the changes they had undergone. They understood that the true treasure lay in the satisfaction of their hard work and the success they had achieved. The brothers continued to work diligently on their farm and became respected members of their village. They no longer avoided work, but embraced it with a newfound appreciation. Their experience had taught them that success comes to those who are willing to put in the effort, and that hard work brings its own rewards. As the days turned into weeks and the seasons changed, Tom and Jack's lives were transformed by their experience. The brothers had learned a valuable lesson through their hard work and dedication. Their once lazy attitudes had been replaced with a strong work ethic and a deep appreciation for the rewards of effort. The success of their harvest had not only brought them financial stability, but also a newfound sense of purpose. They had become respected farmers in their village, known for their diligence and reliability. The villagers admired their transformation and often sought their advice on farming and hard work. Tom and Jack continued to work on their farm with enthusiasm. They took pride in their crops and used their earnings to improve their farm further. They invested in better equipment, expanded their fields, and even started growing new types of crops. Their farm became one of the most productive in the village, and they were able to provide for their family and contribute to the community. The brothers often reflected on their journey and the lessons they had learned. They realized that the treasure their father had hidden was not material wealth, but the satisfaction and success that came from hard work. They understood that true success was not about finding a hidden fortune, but about the journey they had undertaken and the growth they had achieved. Tom and Jack also used their experience to help others. They shared their story with the younger generation and encouraged them to embrace hard work and dedication. They spoke about their initial laziness and how they had changed, hoping to inspire others to see the value in their efforts. The brothers' transformation was evident not only in their work, but also in their relationships. They had grown closer through their shared experiences and learned to support each other in their endeavors. Their bond was stronger than ever, and they valued each other's contributions to their success. Years passed, and Tom and Jack became successful farmers with a reputation for integrity and hard work. They lived contentedly, knowing that their journey had led them to a fulfilling and meaningful life. They had learned that the true treasure lay in the lessons they had learned and the positive changes they had made in their lives. In the end, the brothers' story became a valuable lesson for the entire village. It was a reminder that hard work, perseverance, and dedication could lead to great rewards. The fields that had once been a symbol of their frustration had become a testament to their success and growth. Tom and Jack's story was told and retold, inspiring many to follow in their footsteps. Their journey from laziness to success became a beacon of hope and a reminder that anyone could change their fate through hard work and determination. As they looked out over their thriving fields, Tom and Jack knew that their father's true gift had been the lesson they had learned. They were grateful for the opportunity to grow and succeed and were proud of the legacy they had created through their hard work and dedication. The story ends here. If you're interested in hearing about an ancient map that leads a boy to Serpent Island, where the path to treasure is filled with deadly obstacles, click the video here or follow the link in the description.